today's Top Talkers, we're talking about etiquette for wedding gifts. And recently, one bride was not too happy with what she received in terms of a gift from one of her guests and the guest's date. She took to Facebook and had something to say about it, and we're going to discuss that today. We're going to discuss what she did and the reaction to it. Okay, we're going to go to the deco board that shows you exactly that Facebook message. So, this is what the bride sent on Facebook to one of her guests. Quote, I just want to know, is there any reason or dissatisfaction of Mike and I's wedding that both you and Phil gave $50 each? In terms of the amount we got from you both, was very unexpected. As a result, we were very much short on paying off the reception. So, this couple went to the wedding. They gave $100 combined as a gift. The bride was not happy with it. Connie, Bernardi's in, Alison, Sandor, Rick, Gibbons. We're going to discuss this one. Etiquette for wedding gifts. Going on Facebook, lambasting one of your guests for saying you didn't give enough money. We weren't able to pay off our reception. Connie, what do you think? Is that a little inappropriate or what?
It's totally inappropriate. You don't go put that on Facebook. I mean, if you want to say something, that's where DMs or, inner voice, keep it to yourself. But I have to say, I'm Italian, and I go to a lot of Italian weddings, and there is an expectation that people give $100 a person. That's kind of like the going rate, if you will. Right. But if you're inviting people on the basis that you expect them to cover off your costs, if you can't afford a big wedding, don't have one, and I hate people who think they're entitled to a certain amount of money.
Well, that's just it. Are they even entitled at all to, are you entitled to give a gift when you go to a wedding, you think, Alison?
I think it's tradition to give a gift, but I truly think it's ridiculous of what she did. I mean, for example, I'm going to one of my best friend's weddings in Wisconsin. I'm spending God knows how much money going over there, getting there, paying for a hotel. And, I still got her a nice gift because she's one of my best friends, but I don't think she was expecting anything. She was expecting to have my company. And you can't expect your guests, especially if they don't have that much money, to fork over a set amount.
So do you give a gift, Rick, to help them pay for the reception, or because they are getting married and you're there to support them, so you're giving them a gift?
Well, I'm there to support them, so my gift is the gift of my presence, I think.
I love it.
Is probably good enough. But other than that, I have only one rule when it comes to this. I let my wife handle these things. I just show up on time.
Probably a good idea, right? Probably a good idea. Look, it's a tough one. I got married last August, and I know that there were discussions about what are we going to do, or how do you handle it if you don't get a gift, or if you get one that's, I mean, we didn't say anything, and there were some we kind of shook our heads at, but you just at the same time think, okay, well, you never know someone's financial situation, and in this case, the woman who gave the gift, which was $100 from her and her boyfriend, she has $40,000 of student loans, and she just finished university, and she only works 12 hours a week.
But that all aside, I think it was more like, she was expecting each of her gifts to cover off the dinner. That's not why you have a wedding. You know what I mean?
That's right.
You can't go into a wedding expecting to have it paid off. That's why people are usually in debt after.
But do people expect, you say for the Italians, it's usually about $100 per person. Is there an expectation of a certain amount? You think?
Well, I think for immediate family, where I come from, and the experiences that I had, it's always $100 a person, and that's kind of just, and I do that for every wedding that I go to, just because that's what I feel comfortable with. But
do you give more money for people you're closer to, Rick? Like if it was a family member, a niece, a nephew getting married, would you give more than you would?
I'll phone my wife.
I'm gonna phone a friend.
Can we get a phone a friend? Yeah, exactly. We need to call Rick's wife on this one. Rick, do you know how much money you've ever given? You don't know, do you?
I don't have a clue, but I'm hoping that my wife subtracts from the amount the cost of our attendance. If we had to pay for a hotel and gas,
Well, there's that.
It should be a zero-sum game at the end of the day.
So you do factor that in if you have to travel?
I hope she does. I don't know the math that she applies to.
I'm firmly of the belief that a wedding should be about love and between two people. I'm sorry, but gifts are nice, but they shouldn't be expected. You don't get married to get presents. You have a happy birthday when you're 5 to get presents.
But weddings are expensive. I mean, you also have the wedding shower, right? So you're also asking people to go to a wedding shower, then come to the wedding. So it's
pricey.
It is.
It adds up. We had a few viewer feedback. Susan Barr, you give what you can afford. If I get invited for the value and not for the thoughtfulness of the gift I offer, then I guess I'd better stay at home. Debbie Rankin Bell says, I think that bride requires a lesson in good manners. There is no rule. A gift is a gift. It's not about the cost. When we start basing a dollar value on a gift, it's time to stop giving altogether because we've lost the reason we are doing it. So there you go. That's what our viewers had to say. We heard from Rick, Alison, and Connie today. Thanks, guys.